Hello, welcome back to Trojan Sports Now. Welcome into our interview segment today. We're joined by one of baseball's hottest hitters in all of Division I, Brandon Lockridge. Brandon, thanks for joining us today on the show, man. It's great to have you in, especially since you guys just got back in on the road from last night.
Glad to be on here. Yeah, it was a good win last night. Anytime you beat a top team like that and beat Auburn, it's fun. It's a fun game,
Yeah, and you guys are kind of rolling. You guys that made 5 in a row.
Right.
Since you guys won the back half of your last week's midweek series, and then you guys got a series sweep. So, or actually, you guys got a 4-game sweep, and then you won the back half. So, just talk about a little bit what it's like when you guys are rolling like that, and everybody's kind of clicking.
I think right now we're kind of on our hottest streak of the year. Everybody would agree with that, and it's kind of good going into playing Coastal Carolina this weekend. We need to take that momentum. And, we'll just have to play it out. And after a tough loss to Georgia State, coming back and sweeping a series, it's always a good change of momentum.
Yeah, then actually you yourself, you've been Coach March calls you, he says you're one of the catalysts for the offense, the way that you've been hitting, man. And I don't know if you know the numbers, but you've got at least 2 hits in 50% of the game. So that's like half the games you've played. What, are you just locked in? Do you see beach balls when you're up there at the plate?
I think just taking each at bat as it's, individual, not looking at it as too like a broad of a thing, just getting up there and focusing on that one at bat. That's what's really helped me this year, and not getting overwhelmed in the moments. And I'm just out there playing and having fun.
And then you're a sophomore this year, right?
That's right.
What's the biggest transition that you've made from your freshman to your sophomore year?
I think experience, just being out there. Last year the nerves got with me. Coming in as a freshman playing, but having a little bit of experience under my belt and understanding that I can play with these guys, and it's not like, SEC schools really, they have good talent just like we have good talent, and it's all Division I baseball, and just staying calm in the moment and, having fun is the biggest key.
And baseball is one of those sports where really anybody can beat anybody, and you just talked about SEC schools have big-time players, but Troy has big-time players as well. Just talk about that competition level. Really, when you're on the field, how is it really different, the competition level from playing Sun Belt teams against playing like SEC schools?
It's all equal. You never know who you're going to see. You're going to see good pitchers. Every team has that one guy that's hot at the time. We were actually talking about it at Georgia State. They had that one guy, he had a lefty that was he was hitting really well at the time. Every team has that one guy, and unless you're playing like a team, when you get down to the final, like in the College World Series and stuff, those teams, they prevail. But, like Coastal Carolina last year, an underdog team that came out and won it all, that just shows that baseball is a crazy sport, and it's all who gets hot at the right time.
And then you came in, and it was Coach Smart's first year coaching, and now it's his second year coaching. You guys are kind of moving along together. What's some of the progress that you've seen from him in year 2 as head coach?
He's learning just like we all are. He went from being an assistant head coach to a head coach, and I think he's handling it really well. And he's learning as he goes along with his more experience, and I think he'll just get better with time. And he's got a good practice schedule for us, and we just learn to play like we practice. And when we can do that, we can get hot and win games. So. Yeah,
actually, I should correct myself because Coach Smart was a head coach before this, but this is his second year at Troy. But nonetheless, it's still a lot of learning that he has to get used to with teaching new guys. But as a team standpoint, from the team standpoint, how much fun is it to play for a guy like Coach Smart?
It's a good time. He's a high intensity coach. He loves winning, and he dislikes losing. Just like everybody else. So it's good playing for a guy like that. A lot of passion for the game, and it kind of rubs off on us. And we have a burning passion to win every game and take it one at a time.
And then, Brandon, where are you from again?
Pensacola, Florida.
Pensacola, Florida. Oh, that's my neck of the woods.
Okay.
I'm from Mobile, but growing up in high school, which high school did you go to?
Pensacola Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so growing up in Pensacola, I'm just going to throw a couple of names out there: Addison Russell, Josh Donaldson.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were those some of the guys? Were those two guys that once they made it to the show that you were kind of like looking up to and saying like, oh, I want to get to where they are?
That's right. Well, actually, I went to see Addison play in my 8th grade year, and we're going to watch him play at pace against, they're facing some big-time guys. C.T. Bradford was on the team at the time. It's a crazy experience seeing, a guy that we knew 8th grade. I knew he was going to be a top draft pick, and now looking and seeing last year he wins the World Series. It's awesome. I got a picture with him. It was really cool growing up, freshman year, watching him play against our varsity team. It was awesome.
And then a guy like Josh Donaldson, He often goes back. I think he lives in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to have players from your area just to be able to produce and come back and actually come back to the community and do things where you could go out and you could work out with him?
It's awesome. There's a lot of good athletes, football, baseball, everything that come out of Pensacola. And, it makes me proud to be from that town. And it's awesome watching them play on TV, knowing that, they're from around your area, and being to watch them play when I was younger, looking up to those guys. So it's awesome.
Do you get to go home often and go back to the beach?
I love going home and going to the beach. One of my favorite things to do is fish. So, anytime I can go home and fish with my buddies, it's a good time.
And so is fishing one of the bigger things you like to do outside of baseball?
I do. I really enjoy fishing, saltwater fishing, deep sea. One of my buddies has a boat. It's always a good time getting back and getting out in the sun and, going to the beach. And one of the prettiest beaches in America, by the way.
Yeah, I'll accept that because Pensacola is nice. But just growing up, how'd you get into baseball? Because you are on the beach. There's a lot of things that you could do down there in Pensacola. How'd you get into baseball?
Well, I kind of like to, I wouldn't say blame my dad, but my dad pretty much, encouraged me to try every sport, not knock it till I try it, type thing. And I pretty much played just about any sport you could possibly imagine growing up, besides the sport that was during baseball season, of course.
Yeah.
And I stuck with baseball. I ended up loving it and had my best opportunity to play in college with baseball. So I stuck with that, and here I am now.
So you played football and basketball too?
Football, basketball, baseball, anything you can imagine. But only thing I didn't get to try was soccer, because that's usually runs over into baseball season. But gotta love baseball.
So if Brandon Lockridge wasn't playing baseball, what would he be doing?
One thing I've never been able to do is turkey hunt. That's always in the spring, and our high school coach was big on not missing baseball for any other hunting, because we had a lot of people that hunted around their area. So if I wasn't playing baseball, I'd probably be turkey hunting or getting some spring fishing in. And
then you just talking about baseball and growing up, and once you get to high school and obviously a little bit of hype starts building around you, and you start getting looked at by college coaches. What's that process like? How do you keep a level head? How do you stay focused when you're on that trail?
I try not to let it get to me. It's kind of nerve-wracking, a little bit when you first start getting your first couple offers and talking to college coaches, thinking, because at one point, in high school, you're not really thinking about college at the time. You're just thinking about playing, and then you start getting you get to your junior year, into your senior year of high school, and you're like, well, what am I going to do, with the rest of my life? Like, it's kind of a big decision, where you end up, where you're going to end up going to college, and you're kind of starting off your foundation for the rest of your life. So, making a decision to come to Troy ended up being a really good decision for me, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
So why did you choose Troy? What about Troy? Was it the sort of like home feeling that it gives off? What made you choose Troy?
I love the small town. Coming from a place like Pensacola, everything's spread out. I had to drive like 30 minutes to get to my high school. It was across town, private school. So having everything right here where you can get to it in 10 minutes. I can go get food and be in the locker room in 10 minutes, And I love the small town. Everybody's right here. All your friends, everybody lives right around the area. And I don't know, not being far from home, your family, you don't want to be too far off. I wasn't ready to grow up, too quick. I like being able to run home if I have to. It's only about 2.5 hour drive home. So I don't know, it all just kind of, I talked to some people, I heard good stuff about Troy, and I made my decision,
And then you talked about you like to fish with your buddies from Pensacola, but when you can't go home to Pensacola and you're up in Troy with your baseball buddies, what do you guys like to do?
We spend a lot of time in the locker room, doing different games. I just love hanging out with my friends, and I have a bunch of good friends on the baseball team. I made good friends that I'll probably be friends with for the rest of my life. And I like working out. We always, like last year, if we had any spare time, we'd go get a workout in here and there. Spike ball, we play in the locker room and spike ball all the time. Anything competitive is always fun. So.
And then what's one thing that the people don't know about Brandon Lockridge that are watching at home that you'd like them to know?
I'm not sure. I really like bottle flipping. And you can ask me my friends. I got some pretty cool videos on my phone of bottle flipping, and I pride myself in that. So I guess I got one where I flipped in the weight room up on top of a metal rafter. It was pretty cool. But
on video?
Yeah, it's on video. It's pretty cool.
You know what they say? A picture didn't happen.
That's right. I holding on Snapchat, flipping it up, and it was pretty cool. But I've laid off. I ran out of things to flip on, so.
Maybe you should try flipping it on the top of the stadium at real pace.
That would be cool. Yeah, I need to try that.
you could have someone at the top, not you, because we got to protect you. You could have someone at the top video, and you could flip it from the bottom, and it could go.
That's right. I could try it.
It could go viral.
That's right.
All right, well, Brandon, expert bottle flipper. He loves fishing, everybody, and he's going to be fishing for some more hits this year, as you can watch the baseball team this upcoming weekend. Follow them on Twitter and follow their scores. But thank you for joining us, and stick around for more Trojan Sports Now coming your way.